Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into your Friday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I cannot believe we are 9 days into August. It feels like we've blinked and it's flown by thus far. We've got a little bit of summer left and there's some great activities for you to get out there and enjoy. We're going to talk about COVID and some of the lasting effects that it's had. Then we're going to chat with the Park City film series about one of their great upcoming series that you're not going to want to miss out on, and it's taking place at the library. And so we're going to give you some great information on that, as well as chat with you about Craft Lake City. And this is a great event for all of those DIYers at home. But we're going to take a look at that local weather forecast right now. A new strain of COVID is on the rise, and right now flu season is vastly approaching us, and it's important that you get your flu vaccine and your COVID vaccine. Well, can you do them together? We're going to bring you all that information and more right now.
Caitlin Jetelina, epidemiologist and author of Your Local Epidemiologist.
Why are COVID-19 and flu vaccines updated?
Yeah, so COVID-19 and flu continuously mutate to create new versions of themselves. This is just what viruses do to survive. And each time we get a new version of the virus, it finds a way to chip away at our immunity wall. So COVID-19 and flu vaccines are updated regularly to address these mutations, to patch up that immunity wall, so we are in tip-top shape the next time we come in contact with these viruses.
What are the benefits of staying up to date with COVID-19 and flu vaccinations?
Yeah, so staying up to date with the recommended vaccines is the best way to reduce the risk of severe disease. So that includes hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19 and flu. And this continues to be important. We still see thousands of hospitalizations a year. And unfortunately, today in the United States, we're seeing about 600 deaths per week.
Are the updated vaccines safe and effective?
Yes, so COVID-19 and flu vaccines are incredibly safe and effective. All authorized and approved vaccines go through a very intense safety monitoring system in the United States. The United States has this gold standard review process, which involves multiple stages, including research, clinical trials, regulatory review, and then ongoing safety monitoring once the vaccine becomes widely available.
Doctor, can I receive the COVID-19 and flu vaccines at the same time?
Yes, you can get the COVID-19 and flu vaccine at the same time. This is called co-administration. And the CDC recommends getting them at the same time because it's basically the same visit. You don't have to go to the pharmacy or the doctor 2 times. And numerous studies have supported the safety of getting a COVID-19 vaccine and flu vaccine at the same time. And in addition to being safe, it's also very effective as well. There's no impact on effectiveness. And so this is certainly what I'll be doing this upcoming fall.
This has been great information. Where can we go to learn more?
Yeah, so there's a number of online resources that provide reliable information about vaccines. In addition to cdc.gov, you can go to CVEEP, which is cveep.org/stay updated for many vaccine resources and really learn the importance of these updated vaccines. You can also go to vaccines.gov to find a vaccine site near to you. And of course, always talk to your healthcare provider about the recommended vaccines every fall.
Been great information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Craft Lake City is such a fun festival for you to get out there and enjoy, whether you want to be inspired with maybe some DIY projects that you can start, or maybe you want to bring some great trinkets home. Well, then you're going to want to check out Craft Lake City, and it kicks off today, so we're going to introduce you to the fabulous team behind it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 16th annual Craft Lake City DIY Fest is just around the corner. And if you're looking for something to do with your entire family, we have Executive Director of Craft Lake City, Angela H. Brown, joining us this morning to give us all the details. Angela, thank you so much for being with us today. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing so good.
Absolutely. It's such an exciting event coming up for you guys here just in a few weeks. August 9th is when it all kicks off at the DIY Fest. And we're going to be talking about all the details today. But before we get into that, Angela, What is Craft Lake City and what do you all do? Give us a little bit of the work that you guys do. Angela, I think you froze on us.
I did, but I'm back. Thank you.
Let's
Apologies.
No worries. Nick, do you want to take that from the top or just re-ask? Okay. Angela, we're going to do that from the top again if you don't mind.
Let's do it
Just
from the
so
top.
we can, yeah. And hopefully we'll be good. Okay, take two.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 16th annual Craft Lake City DIY Fest is just around the corner. And if you're looking for something for the entire family to enjoy before summer ends, we have Executive Director of Craft Lake City joining us this morning. Angela H. Brown is with us. Angela, thank you so much for being with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well, and thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to be in Park City TV.
Yeah, thank you for being with us and sharing a little bit about what's all happening at the DIY Fest, which is coming up in a few days. Before we get into that, Angela, talk to us a little bit about Craft Lake City. What is it? What do you guys do? And kind of share with us a little bit of your work.
Yes, thank you for asking. So Craft Lake City, we are a 501c3 nonprofit corporation here in Utah, and our mission is to educate, empower, promote local artisans through science, technology, and art. And one of the ways that we do that is through this big 3-day affair. It's a really large event, 20,000 people over 3 days,
Wow.
over 350 artisans. We've got 2 stages with over 50 performers. We've got a science and technology building, just so many wonderful, wonderful things, a kids area. It's a 3-day event, and we'd love to see you there this weekend at the Utah State Fair Park.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be such a fun time. And I love that you all kind of combine art with STEM or technology and science, because I feel like, at least for me growing up traditionally, those two things kind of always used to live separate. I was always kind of like the STEM wing and then the art wing at school. So bringing these two together, I think is a fantastic idea. And as you mentioned, you guys are having your DIY Fest on August 9th, right? That's when it all kicks off. Tell us a little bit about the details and what we can expect, because you said there's lots of people, lots of artisans. What else can we expect this year?
Thank you. And the DIY festival, do it yourself, right?
Yes.
That's what the acronym stands for,
Yes.
is really about creative empowerment. So we really want to empower the community to come, really get inspired by what they see, the people they meet, so that they can become creators and makers themselves and really get part of the creative community here in Utah. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned, our STEM building is science and technology. We believe that individuals that are in those fields use the same creativity that artisans use or performers use in their fields. And so it's just really fun to get people together, get them excited about how they can create whatever practice that is, whether that's in science and tech, whether it's in music or visual art.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Angela, walk me through kind of, so are people going to be able to buy art? Are they kind of going to be able to browse around? I know there's going to be activities, there's going to be entertainment. So kind of walk me through, when we get there, what's it all going to be like?
Oh, yes. And there's something to do all 3 days. So as I mentioned, there's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
Friday, we kick off with our VIP area, which from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., we've got really incredible bands playing. We have over 15 craft foodies with Utah's Own, which is a kind of an arm of the Department of Agriculture. So
Yeah.
they celebrate farmers and local food makers. So you can actually meet them on Friday. Of
Wow.
course, we have our kids area all 3 days with face painting. We've got some local nonprofit partners offering free crafts for the kids in there.
Yeah.
On Saturday, actually, we have a really fun youth entrepreneur program called Kid Row. And that's a pop-up market from 12 to 4 inside of the DIY Festival, where youth 18 and under sell their handmade wares. So that's going to be really fun. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. And then on Sunday, inside of that science and technology building, we actually have our handmade video games as well. So these are local creators and makers that make video games, and they've kind of handmade it with science and tech tools.
Yeah. Wow, lots happening over the weekend. It all kicks off Friday, August 9th, and it goes through the 11th. So if you want to bring the entire family out to the DIY Fest at the Utah State Fair Park, you don't want to miss it out. Angela, I love that you mentioned the Kid Row, which is on Saturday, as you mentioned, because I think kids are so creative, and what better way to support young entrepreneurs than through like an event like this?
It's so true. And, this is really fun. We have over 50 of them that will be there. And this is a program that actually we kind of partner with Utah schools. We go
Yeah.
in the after school programs and teach them how to become creators and makers. And then they can actually apply to be part of Kid Row and sell their wares. We're really excited too, because we're applying for funding right now where we can go into the public libraries and also offer this education to any child. So stay following on our social media, Craft Lake City, as well as our website, craftlakecity.com, to see when that program launches. We're just waiting for the funding for that.
Wow, I love that. I love supporting young entrepreneurs. Our youth are really the future of our country when it comes to anything, but I think especially when it comes to art and sciences. So much creativity and so much just so many cool things out there when it comes to the youth. So I love that you guys are doing that. Angela, is this a free event? Is it a ticketed event? Where can folks go to get tickets? I know you mentioned the VIP option as well, so talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, so we are a nonprofit, as I mentioned, and one of the ways that we kind of fund the organization year round is through this big event. So it is a ticketed event. Tickets are $13 in advance. You can get those at 24tix.com or $15 each day. That being said, children, 12 and under are free. And so, we really want to make it affordable. And there's just so much value for that ticket price. Everything is included in that ticket price, with the exception of VIP. That's a little bit more. That's around $30 in advance, $35 day of. But that does include, the sampling of all of the Utah's own farmers and craft foodies, as well as we have got some local brewers and distillers offering craft beer and craft cocktails.
Well, there you have it. And you can also visit the website craftlakecity.com for more details on all the things happening at Craft Lake City. And of course, the DIY Fest, which is again happening August 9th through the 11th at the Utah State Fair Park. Angela, what are you most looking forward to this year?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm actually looking forward to a brand new thing that we're doing on Saturday night, which is called DIY Fest After Dark. And this is actually where we're staying open until 10 p.m. and having some louder local bands perform on our stages. So the market itself with all of the artisans in the STEM building will close at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And then those that want to stay for a little bit more of a rowdy, fun local music experience can stay until 10 p.m. And this is something brand new that we're just doing to kind of prototype and also to celebrate some of our louder local musicians.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that goes and to, just kind of have a fun Saturday night.
That sounds like a great time. DIY after hours. If you want to, come enjoy some of that louder music, have some fun after dark, then you don't want to miss it out. Angela, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Yes, I just want to thank you all for being such great partners and for doing such wonderful coverage of our Utah community. And we really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Angela. It's been a pleasure talking to you a little bit about the DIY Fest, and we wish you the best of luck. It's going to be a huge event, and we are all looking forward to it here. And thank you for sharing with us a little bit about what's happening this year.
Thank you, and we'll see you at the Utah State Fair Park for the Craft Lake City Annual DIY Festival, August 9th, 10th, and 11th.
There you have it, folks. August 9th, 10th, and 11th. Don't miss out the DIY Fest. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with more of the show after this, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Very great job.
The Park City Film Series is an incredible nonprofit here in our community, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Katie Wang first thing this morning. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
We always love having you here because you guys do such a good job of expanding people's film horizons, not only with the older generation, but with the younger generation as well. And so you've got two great events coming up.
Yes, so we're kind of winding up our summer season. It's hard to believe that summer's almost over. It's been a great summer though. So we have 2 more outdoor screenings and 2 more films in our Studio Ghibli Film Festival coming up. And coming up in the next week on Friday, we have A Million Miles Away. This will be one of our outside screenings on the Park City Library patio. So out there right by the lawn, which is kind of fun. And this is based on the true story of Mexican-American Jose Hernandez and his journey from working in the fields in the San Joaquin Valley as a migrant farm worker to becoming an astronaut at NASA, which is just an incredible leap, right? What an incredible journey. But it's just a story of resilience and achievement and grit, and just thrilling to be able to bring it here to our community. We're going to present the film in Spanish with English subtitles as part of our Scene in Espanol series. And this is supported by the Verizon Foundation and Summit County Rap Tax. And we are presenting it in partnership with Park City Library and Basin Recreation, which has been a great partnership for us for almost a decade decade now, where we're presenting these great outdoor films that, as you said, appeal to our youngest film lovers as well as our oldest film lovers and everyone in between, of course, but just really trying to program films that the whole family can come together and enjoy. So it will be on an outdoor inflatable screen, unlike some of our screens in Eastern Summit County. So showtime is 8:45 p.m. as the sun starts to set. So definitely bring a blanket and some chairs to sit on. It does get cold once the sun gets behind the mountain, but really fun screening there on Friday night.
Which is such a fun way to get the entire family involved and to hear this incredible story. I was reading the bio of it earlier on the website, and I was like, this is such a fun way to get the entire family engaged and really show that anything is truly possible.
Absolutely. And just really as part of our STEM education film series, the intent of that is to showcase people that are in the STEM fields that don't look like, everybody else, that have been underrepresented historically over time. And so really to inspire the young people, particularly in our community. If you can see it, you can be it. There are no barriers in terms of achievement. If you really have that passion and the will. He tried, Jose Hernandez, 11 times. He applied to NASA to become part of their astronaut program and eventually was successful. So just a great compelling story that really is a lesson for all of us, and hopefully we'll get some young people involved in the sciences and maybe they can be our next astronaut from Park City. We've got a lot of Olympians, but I don't know if we have any astronauts yet.
And what a great way to expand the horizons of our wonderful community. And then let's talk about the following film that you have coming up next week.
Yes, so on Thursday, August 15th. Sorry, we've been doing on Tuesdays, and then in August we're switching to Thursday nights. At 7 o'clock, we're going to go back inside the Santee Auditorium, and we are showing the last two films of our Studio Ghibli Film Festival. And we really wanted to expand the kind of follow the arc of Hayao Miyazaki's career. So our last two films, fittingly, will be the last two films, at this point anyway, of his career. And the first one on the 15th will be The Wind Rises. And this is an inspiring story. It's based on a true story about Hiro Horikoshi, an airplane engineer in Japan during World War II. He was inspired by an Italian aeronautical engineer, and just really didn't let his dreams kind of become reality, and ended up becoming one of the leading airplane engineers in the world. And just an incredible story of following your passion, of love, perseverance, just an incredible story just about what one can do if you follow your dreams. So, and of course, fantastically animated, as all of Miyazaki's films are. And we'll have a post-film discussion with Professor Cindy Texter. She's a professor in the World Languages and Culture Department at the University of Utah with a particular focus on Japan. So she can help put the film into context during World War II when it was created, what was going on at the time, and Horikoshi's kind of impact on the war and the rest of history as we know it. So that'll be Thursday the 15th. 7 o'clock p.m. We have specials tickets for students that are $5. So definitely bring your young people. Anime is for all ages. He's such an incredible storyteller. And this is slightly different than some of his other films, but just a beautiful experience for everyone to come together and see as a family.
I think it's so amazing how you tie everything together at the end, and then of course you bring and invite these brilliant discussions for people to ask questions, to expand their horizons, and to continue to learn. And I think that's one of the most powerful tools that the Park City Film Series offers, is the ability to continue learning.
Absolutely. And that's what's so great about bringing in the speakers that we have so far for this series. A lot of people know anime. Anime definitely is seeing a revival, and lots of young people are getting engaged with it, which is exciting to see. And Hayao Miyazaki is kind of the auteur of that medium, but there's so much complexity to his storytelling. And just to unpack it and put into context of the time that it was created, how is that relevant for today? How is it relevant to the rest of his career? What's great about Dr. Texter is she also works with one of the other speakers that we had earlier in the season, Professor Shen, who teaches in the Department of Animation, and she often comes and speaks to her classes, so she can kind of tie it into the historical context, not just of the film itself, but really, how does it fit into, again, kind of the expanse of Miyazaki's career and what was going on at the time. So just really exciting to be able to tie it all together and give people, you can enjoy it without all of that, but it just makes it that much deeper and more interesting if you have someone else to kind of add that extra layer to the story for you.
Well, it's like art. Once you get to that personal connection with it, and the way you do that is by learning, then you become more fond of the art. And so this is a great way for people to maybe explore the world of anime a little bit if they have not already, and to get all of this wonderful and deep-rooted information.
Absolutely. And what's been really fun is we have such a huge and very devoted audience for anime here in Utah. And our speakers have been pleasantly surprised by some of the questions. And just what's great is then the audience is not only asking questions of the speaker, but then they're starting to talk to each other. And it just becomes this kind of community conversation. I mean, you have, 200 people kind of all having this conversation, which doesn't happen very often. But it's so exciting when it does, because everyone is just so passionate and just brings this wealth of knowledge with them that they're just, excited to share. And it just adds another, adds an extra layer of excitement to the evening.
Katie, I can tell you're passionate about your job just by listening to you speak on it. And that's one of those moments at the Park City Film Series that makes us so happy to even have the opportunity to chat with you, because the passion that you exude to people really gets people invited and excited to come in and partake in all the fun. Now let's talk about if people want to get involved with Park City Film Series, how could they can do so?
Absolutely. And so before I go to that, which I appreciate, if you do want to get tickets to The Wind Rises, you can go to parkcityfilm.org. Tickets are available online until an hour before showtime, and then we open them up at the box office. You can definitely just walk up and get your tickets. If you just have a last minute change of plans or are able to get everyone together at the last minute, please come on over. We got plenty of room, and a million miles away is a free screening, and we have free popcorn. So you can register if you like, or just show up. Bring your friends and family. We'd love to have you. There's plenty of space there on the lawn. But if you'd like to get more involved, and we'd love to have you, if you go to our website, we have our volunteer tab. So you can volunteer before screenings, learn how to make the best popcorn in town, which is, of course, everyone wants on their resume. If you'd like to become a member, we'd appreciate your support year round. We're just about to kick off our 30th season of presenting independent cinema here in Park City. So if you want to become one of the cool kids and support independent cinema, we'd love to have you. Of course, donations are always acceptable, but we'd love to just have you be part of our community in any way that you are able to. So parkcityfilm.org for all that information.
Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this information, and thank you for inspiring us to get out and participate in all of the wonderful independent films that you guys bring.
Thanks for having me. It was great to be here.
Make sure that you go to parkcityfilm.org. That way you can buy your tickets in advance. You can see the entire lineup of all of the wonderful events and activities that they've got coming, and you can become a great volunteer. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. So many great events and activities for you to participate in, whether you want to take the kiddos to go see that incredible movie with the Park City Film Series, or you want to make your way to Craft Lake City and get inspired with some DIY projects you can do yourself. There's so many wonderful events and activities always taking place in our community, and Wasatch Weekends loves getting to be here every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to bring you some great information. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.